up with us because they're coming through now to give you these little tastes of the things we're going to play with in the Intuition Awakening Summer Camp. So today we're going to play with magical realms and elementals. And I have to start over, I guess. I don't know. We're going to see. So we'll ask the elementals and the sylphs of the air to help us. Now we have an excellent connection. Okay. So we are playing with the elementals today, and we're talking about messages. Messages meaning all of the information that comes in everything going on around you. There's messages in the air, the wind. There's messages in the rain. There's messages in this little unicorn right here, little fluffy unicorn. There's messages in the stone because that stone has a particular makeup, qualities, strengths, like you do, like I do. So when we have the ability to tune into those messages, then we don't want to get overwhelmed by all of them because they're certainly not all right for you. However, you walk along and you start to realize that, ooh, I'm kind of in a buffet and I don't want everything. But if the more I'm here, the more I'm in myself, the more I'm thinking about what I love, the more I'm exuding my own radiant energy and thinking like, what is the delight in my life? What is magic to me? If I was given the mission, I was given the mission to activate the magic wherever I go. Before I left the US 6.5 years ago, and more, I think, yeah. And I was looking for a deep spiritual message. I was in the redwoods. I was doing a retreat. I was walking out into the redwoods. Pretty scary, to be honest, because the energies in there are intense. There's portals. There's very strong nature spirits there. You could get lost. You know, people talk about getting lost in fairyland and stuff. But I would go out and I would meditate and sit and talk to all the incredible nature spirits deep, deep in the redwoods. It took an hour or two to get to where we were staying. There was nothing else in there. And so activating the magic wherever you go, what would that be like? What does magic like to you? What does it mean to you? Do you not like the word? However, when we talk about the magical realms, we think about things like dragons. We think about things like unicorns. We think about things like mermaids. Now, my mermaids are downstairs, but I do have my mermaid tail. So there's other things, maybe elves, they're nature spirits, but they're also kind of in the magical realm. So the idea of what is magical is simply a kind of frequency. It's a type of lifestyle, really. It's a type of experience where they have everything in a certain frequency. It's like having a different gravity. They're showing me it's not like living in the gravity you have on your planet. It's different. So when you live in different dimensions or different states of consciousness, get the scale in the shop. It's free, so you can see the states of consciousness. When you're carrying a lot of guilt and you're blaming yourself or others a lot, you have very heavy energies in your mind and other parts of you, your body, probably in your emotional field, probably affecting your finances, probably affecting your identity, your confidence, and so on. And so those energies are what we call heavy or toxic energies. They don't allow you to expand your intuitive network and start to connect to these magical realms, start to connect to fairies and angels and the airs and the water spirits. And what else have we been playing with? All gods, goddesses. Here we have Thoth and Kuan Yin and Ganesha and crystals and dolphins and jaguars and all these different forms that conscious energy from the divine can embody if it wants to have a particular medicine, if it wants to have a particular power that it uses. So the conscious energy that comes from the divine to embody a ginger root, a ginger plant, to give ginger root its incredible healing powers and deliciousness, is its essence, it's its power, it's its medicine, it's its personality. You're the same way. We all are. So when we play with the magical realms, we free ourselves of rules like gravity. We free ourselves from limits like, oh, that can't be true, or that can't happen. And for us, it's very important because we've been consistently bombarded with messages to not believe our imagination, to not use it, to think it's silly, and to doubt ourselves. And this is the exact opposite of what we are doing now. So I invite you to dive into your imagination, to begin to use it all the time, everywhere you go. Enjoy yourself. Feel in every moment, ooh, this feels good. Imagine that. Yesterday's call was about ascended masters and gods and goddesses, and we kind of got a little bit of information about what they are, what the difference is, but then we had this whole beautiful healing journey and message from Apollo, the sun god, the Greek sun god. So sun, still a little bit solstice-y, right? All the sun energy that's still out here now. And the difference between God consciousness and an ascended master and us, essentially. And we are ascended masters in progress. We are in the training program. We are in the graduate program. We are in the active act of becoming ascended. And that means we become free from the limits that we have encoded into our cells, our mind, and all the layers that create then our reality around us. We project it out and it says, okay, here's your reality. So as you change your beliefs, as you free yourself from guilt, shame, as you start to listen to your inner voice, as you do all these things we've been talking about, you actively awaken your intuition. You create a spiritual meditation, presence, health, whatever you want to call it, practice daily, every day. You give this more and more of your time and attention, the more and more your life will become guided and fluid. You will tune into this, that there's nonstop guidance all around you. And so the summer camp is all about you getting activations, 7 light body activations, 7 different, very specific ones that I will lead you through, and then you will have to repeat. And these will be like initiations, and they will relate to 7 different ways for you to communicate with your intuitive network. And as that comes through, you will then go from wherever you are now, which is perfect, to the next level. But the difference is what they've been telling me is we are going to receive these healings, downloads, whatever you want to call them, and they're going to go in, and I always work very deep, very multidimensionally. We're working with all levels of your being, in all levels of your soul, whatever is optimal, and it's very, very windy. And then, which is an elemental, so thank you for talking to us. Then what happens is that you have to strengthen. It's like buying an old house and having to upgrade the wiring, especially like the cables for internet, going to fiber optics or whatever is better than that, right? Completely upgrading how you can receive both hardware and software, if that makes sense to you. So intuitive networks are your senses, the ways that you perceive things. Do you notice synchronicities? Do you notice messages? Do you notice patterns? What is your current way right now of receiving the messages in your world? When you're seeking guidance, when you're seeking relief from pain or fear, when you're seeking an answer, what is the right thing to do? How do I honor myself? What do I do in this next situation? We're constantly in life being put into a situation where we have to make a choice. We have to decide, how are we going to proceed? Who are we going to be? What are we going to say? But our mind has been so consumed by the idea of the logical world that says you should do this, that it's too busy to stop and listen to the nature spirits or the fairies or the wind, to stop and realize that there's all of these energies that are attuned to your soul that do not have to make its way through all of the toxic thoughts and beliefs and negativity and guilt and shame that we have carried and are clearing in our bodies, minds, and emotional fields and so on. So what you want to do is realize that as you consciously say, I'm ready and willing, as you show up in sacred space with me, each time you enter, we redefine who you are. We announce who you are. You enter that space. You become more aware of the space. You learn how to build the space, and then you begin to be able to do it everywhere. And as you are upgraded with each of the initiations, each of the attunements, then we go into a topic. So like we're doing here, we'll have one of the intuition awakening about attuning to an ascended master or God, goddess type of energy, whatever yours is. And then we will get information from them. We will receive information. We will share what information we receive, so we get a collective view from the gods, goddesses, the rather realms. And so this is like a high-level mastermind for a highly conscious minds that want to mastermind and co-create with the realms of Earth Star. So the word I keep getting for a few months now is Earth Star. And it came because of the star seed, the idea of I'm a star seed, I want to know my star seed. And so I do sessions like that, and they're wonderful. It's always fascinating. But what they started to show me was that first, you're an Earth Star seed because you're here right now. Even if you haven't had, and you have other lives on Earth, if you have a life on Earth right now, one of your star seeds is Earth. Earth to us is Earth. It feels very grounded, right? However, happy solstice. I love magic now. Spent most of my life in fear of it. Oh, I'm so happy, Sherry. I know they've done a very, 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 very good job at making us afraid of believing in magical things. Even as a little girl, it was okay, but then it became maybe you're evil and just all wound up. And what you have to understand is it's not about blaming anyone or anything for that download that you received. It was part of your soul's path to walk that path so that you could free yourself from that path. And now you are consciously aware. You've made a choice to move forward. And all it is it's like taking, something really beautiful and rolling it up in a piece of trash, right? And then putting it down and saying, ew, look, it's trash. Don't touch it. And we've just been holding that inside a long time, right? So as we discover, it's just fear of power. And every government, every church, every school, every family, whatever, has had rules around controlling people maybe for safety, maybe for whatever other reasons there were. But that control is dying away. And that's what we're doing right now, is we're freeing ourselves from the control of our own agreements within our minds and our bodies and the toxins that we're carrying, that keep us from aligning with our higher consciousness, these vibrational states and rates, these parts of our actual physical and energetic body that are designed to receive and to send information and to be in a constant flow of communication with everything around you. So this morning is a really interesting example. My retreat starts next week. A week from tomorrow, a week from today, everybody arrives, or earlier. However, a week from tomorrow, we begin our Dolphin Healing Mayan Magic Retreat. If you want to come, you can still come. I talked to someone this morning who's putting their final details together. And so, however, I was thinking about the retreat. I'm already tuning in energetically. I'm talking to the land. I've been there and I've done everything we're going to do, and so on and so forth. And it's about 4:30 in the morning. I get up around that time to go watch the sunrise. And I was laying in bed and I just started to expand, and my light started to expand. I didn't have to go into a meditation. I didn't start to activate anything specifically. I just went into this very expanded light state, started to expand my light body. And pretty soon I was seeing different things. I was experiencing different things at the retreat. So I was seeing myself on the beach watching the sunrise with this lady with her head against my chest, and us just head to head, quietly watching the sunrise. Then I saw an image of a line of women all holding hands and we're on the beach. And again, we're watching the sunrise. And it's going to be the full moon when we're there. So that's extremely significant. And it's exactly in the middle of the week. And so we're right on the beach. So we're doing all this magic. We're doing all this healing. We're doing all this dolphin work, rewiring and soul work, and going into caves and ceremonies and everything. And then I saw standing there and I heard the word Sunrise Sisters. I was like, oh, that's so sweet. And then I have a thing where I go in the ocean and I hold my arms open like this, and I'm welcoming in through the sea of bliss that I am. Those like you, those people who want to play with me in my world, those people who are ready to come to the dolphins or other guides or dolphins or messages or whatever. I'm open and welcome through the infinite field because I know I'm protected with all the work I do, and to receive exactly. And the next minute I was being the Jesus in Brazil on top of that mountain that stands there with the arms open. And I thought, well, that's odd. I've never been there. And I have worked with Jesus in the past, and we did do Ascended Masters yesterday. So I thought, okay, maybe that's it. But went on a long time. Other things happened with this woman, with other things. It was beautiful, very expanded, actually went for like an hour and a half. So I missed the sunrise, but it was such a spontaneous and beautiful feeling. And it came from when the goddess energies told us yesterday that their realm is, I mean, we define what we think is a god or goddess, and we're the ones that gave that name. However, they told us that the realm of gods and goddesses is the level of God consciousness. And God consciousness, or goddess consciousness, or divine consciousness, or pure consciousness, I don't know, you can call it something that maybe didn't have a religious feeling to it. Nothing I talk about is religious, so you can let that go in my world. Is when you radiate pure, you fill your entire central channel with pure God consciousness, pure light that doesn't have an agenda and that doesn't judge and all of that. And then you're so pure outside of that, you've freed yourself from pain, fear, past attachment to identities and other people. And ascended masters do that. They free themselves from their pain, their path, all the drama they go through in their lives and all that. And then they reach a point where they say, you know, I would really, I'm free now. I can move on to other things in the universe, other bodies, other places. I don't have to come back and incarnate again. However, I really sympathize, empathize, and love the people here, the beings here, the earth, the biosphere, the earth star, and I want to stay and I want to lend my energy. So I felt like that. I felt like I was doing that and that I was radiating out. It was very interesting. And then I had a few other things happen with this client in the meditation, and I text her afterwards, and we were supposed to talk. Other things were supposed to happen, and I text her everything that happened and how it related to her. And then she called me and she said, "You don't understand how significant that is. That her husband died recently, and that." On her 50th birthday, they went to Brazil, and she has a statue of that Jesus, and it's on her desk next to the picture of her husband, next to the candle that she burns when she wants to feel and talk to him. And in the picture, he's in a particular clothes that I saw him in. He appeared, and I said, "Oh, I saw him. He was dressed like this." And she's like, "Oh, that's his favorite shirt." And then she said, "What you were experiencing was like a live action of what is on my desk." And there's all kinds of communication messages happening right now for her because they're clearing the way. The elementals are clearing the way. Her husband, who's passed on, is clearing the way. The messages are coming to her from him through me, through a bunch of other stuff. She was telling me that some of the significance of the symbols and the things I saw, I didn't understand. But when I told her, she's like, "Oh my gosh." So the messages are in everything. Are they for you? Do you hear them? Do you understand them? right? That's why we want to consciously activate and upgrade our intuitive network, our ability to receive higher frequency medicines and energies, okay? And the messengers, of course, are trying to reach us, not trying like, oh, I'm so stressed out, but they're there, available to us if they are optimal for us. And it's a matter of us clearing and building that higher tower or that stronger channel. You don't want to receive a message from a divine being that then blows out your circuits, right? And then you're like, oh, I got this great message, but now I can't talk, okay? We have to acknowledge we are in a very, very unique and weird period where our body has to alter. And if you're having all the weird light body ascension sickness stuff that I am having, and everybody I know, all just, you name it, from digestion to this, to that, to whatever, it's because our bodies are literally dumping old toxins, including beliefs, including identities, including structures that limit you from having that divine flow, right? Letting go of needing to control. And you can't try to control everything and say how you want it and be in the flow. You can't allow all the help around you, the nature spirits, and say, I'm doing it my way every step of the way. And yet on the other side, you want to be you, but not you, the ego freak who wants to control everything. You, the magical child, you, the spiritual being, you, the part of your soul that has powers, that has gifts, that has a purpose, that has a destiny. Okay. Hi guys. Okay, so let's see. I know, I've gone through phases of saying magic, not saying magic, spelling it differently, going into the goddess world, being afraid of looking into that world and being intrigued by it, then going in and seeing the incredible beauty and the love and then the nature, and then that opened, into, well, first actually it was shamans and animals that drew me into the nature world, the animals, communication and taking care of them and everything. They just opened up that to me, and it was the perfect pathway. That's why I say whatever pathway is optimal for you to tune into, that you receive right now. And then as you receive through whatever ways you can right now, okay, is, if all you can see is pink, which used to be my thing, then you can just go with, okay, pink. And is it a different color pink today? Does it feel hot? Is it vibrating? Is it moving? Instead of being like, oh, all I see is pink, then you're dissing the communication. And it's not the other side's fault that you're not receiving, that you're not, receiving and understanding the message. It's our end that has to keep being cleared, that has to be reconnected, okay? So that's what we're doing this, is to understand we live a sacred life. And I don't mean to be bored. I mean, you want to have fun, but sacred to me means respectful, reverent, present. Every step I take, I'm aware I'm walking on the earth. I'm blessing it. What energy am I carrying around? If I am distracted, upset, or frustrated, which isn't common, but of course happens, I don't like to walk around. I feel like, oh, I'm spreading toxins. So there's medicine in everything from symbols to nature. And this is the time to, like, we're getting the smorgasbord of goodies. However, you don't need to be like, oh, I need to talk to all of them. You want to be present. So when you come to the Intuition Awakening Summer Camp, we go through and give you 7 activations that then will attune you so that you will open up to the optimal guidance. So if you're somebody who feels, or you're someone who gets visions, or if you're someone who catches synchronicities and sees patterns and sees the connections through everything, I have a client who can just listen to you talk, and she can then repeat back to you all of the patterns and symbols and connections she saw in it, right? So whatever way you're receiving, that's the open door now. Take the open door. Don't complain about the way. Don't say, I wish I could do something else. Say, I can't wait until this unfolds into my next power, and whatever other messengers are ready to come to me, or whatever new ways messages can come. So the messages are the guidance or the inspiration or the vision or the whatever it is, and those come through what we call messengers. They come through the wind or the air. They come through a god or a goddess in a meditation. They come through the animal spirit guides. They come through synchronicities. They come through your TV. Okay. Many of you probably heard, excuse me talk about, I had a real estate investing company, and it was phenomenal. Loved every minute of it. It changed my life, pushed me out of a lot of fears and through a lot of stuff to, wow. And I had to go through a lot to make it happen. And I never knew anything about it. But 7 nights in a row, I went into the bedroom where my ex-now husband was sleeping, and he liked to sleep with the TV on, and I didn't like the TV. So I was in the other end of the house doing stuff, and this same infomercial was on 7 nights in a row, and it was always at a different place, so I'd always see a little bit more of it until pretty soon I bought the product. But I was raised, you do not buy things on TV. So it was a completely bizarre message that had to come through in such an insistent way that I finally paid attention, because all I did was laugh at it like, yeah, right, whatever, who cares? You know, who buys this stuff? It's all a lie. It's all a scam. Oh, and I don't even know what it is, and I never even thought of it. And then each time I'd walk in and I'd watch a little bit more, watch a little bit more. And then later, of course, I'm laughing because I got the message, and I'm so happy I did. And a series of things that happened from that were so incredible. And that's what we call magic. Like, oh my, you know, what if I hadn't done it? What if I'd stayed in my logical mind? I knew my husband was going to be mad at me spending the money. I knew that my programming told me that this was not a good thing to do. So you have to have the messages. You have to have the awareness that the messages are there. Not, where's the message? Why can't I get a message? Or keep asking for what you want. What you want is what is optimal for you and for your highest good at this time. So today we're going to co-create. I want you to think about right now, what would you like to co-create? You can make it simple. It doesn't have to be anything. You don't even have to pick something. You can just say, let's co-create what's optimal for me and see what shows up. However, what I wanted to do with the elementals and magical realms is I don't have time to teach you all about who they are and what they are. We don't have a time to go in and talk to the unicorns and each of them. We'll see what they say. We'll see what they bring through. I'm sure it's going to be amazing. And I'm going to give you a little bit of background. However, the bigger picture is that this is about us activating and using our intuitive pathways actively right now. That's why every single show you come on, there's an activation, there's a meditation, there's something, as well as other information or insights or downloads or readings, whatever comes through. But it's all intended to be practical, yet deep, spiritual, yet expansive, delightful, yet healing. This is the truth of all things. We are all things. And tomorrow we're going to have spiritual mentors come to us through time and work with our past lives. So I want to start you with a declaration, and I give you these, I teach these, and sometimes we channel new ones in the classes. So if you come to the Intuition Awakening Summer Camp, you're going to have many of these. I walk you through an activation and to clear, cleanse, protect yourself, to continuously repeat. It's very easy. You just turn it on and do it until you can say it in your own mind. But these are very, very empowering words. So if you're going to understand medicine, meaning that energy has power, energy has a particular energy, right? So the energy from an aloe vera, very healing, extremely different than the energy in a tea over here. It doesn't have to be food. I was trying to think of something else, a plant, and or a crystal. Let's say rose quartz or rhodochrosite. I have a new incredible rhodochrosite obelisk, actually. Didn't expect it, came to me on the solstice, exquisite. And so the energy in that, the medicine it carries, whether it's to my eyes or the energy that comes from it, or if it goes in water and soaks into the water, is a completely different frequency. So what you want to do is become a clear and open channel to the energies, the messages, the messengers, and the medicines that are optimal for you at this time. Then you don't have to know what they are. You then become the receiver, and you walk in the center of your being, looking out as you move through your day, as you watch your thoughts, as you watch the energies come in and out of you. As you make your choices, you stay inside of you. You don't go spinning off in your head, wondering what this person did, thinking about that, complaining about this, being pissed about that. You bring everything back into the center. And then you ask that the messages that hold the medicine that are optimal for your soul at this time come to you with grace and ease. All right, so we're going to walk through this together. If you can, say it out loud. If you can't, just repeat it within you. I'm going to say it out loud, so if you would like to close your eyes, you can do that as well. Or you can follow along by looking at the words. It will imprint it even deeper within you. Take a deep breath in. Hold it and allow it to expand. Give thanks for this divine breath and for the sylphs, the elementals of the air, and let it dissipate slowly out. I enter this sacred space in reverence, presence, and love. I ask to be a clear and open channel to my highest good and what is optimal for me at this time. After you make that declaration, you want to pause because you have made a command, and your life, your body, your mind is at your command. So you watch that energy go out into your field. You feel my back changing. Am I relaxing? Is my mind letting go and coming into the present moment? Take a deep breath in. We ask the elementals, the sylphs of the air, to enter us, the sacred breath, aerating our mind and expanding us to higher consciousness. Let the breath go with that message. It goes out to all parts of you. I am here to expand my intuitive pathways. Now you've told yourself this, all parts of you inside this sacred temple of light begin to pay attention and change, expanding your intuitive pathway to gracefully receive the messengers, the messages, and the medicine that are optimal for my soul at this time. I ask to be a clear and open channel to the elementals and magical realms and those energies and magical medicine that is most empowering, freeing, realigning to my soul's powers, purpose, and path. I accept. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is. So we're going to dive into a little bit of these conscious beings of light who embody this amazing realm. And we all know how integral elements are to us, that we know that everything in form is made of fire, earth, air, or water with a light structure and an infusion of what I would call a soul blueprint to create the final design. Now, magical realms are my favorite because, well, all of these other realms are I love because to me, they're very joyful and passionate and remind me of being a little magical butterfly girl when I was a little girl. And I love mermaids and unicorns and water sprites. And so we're going to play with these today. We're going to see what they have to say. And I want you to think, like I said a moment ago, now you've entered the sacred space. You're attuned here and you've made a declaration. You've declared who you are and why you are here. And that means that you have your intention, your higher self, and all those parts of you clearly aligned together. And they're beginning to open the pathways for you to receive the gift of your soul medicine that the elementals and the magical realms can bring to you today. So number one, start to accept joyful delight. Now, if you have a natural affinity for some kind of nature, if you like the ocean or caves or mountaintops, begin to tune into that. What brings you that sense of being alive or healed or sacredness when you're in nature? What do you feel an affinity for? I love water. I love them all. But water of all kinds has always been my number one. Now, as you start to think, you start to reach out with your awareness, like, oh, what is the most joyful delight? How can I start to attune to the frequencies of magical realms and elementals? I must reach a state that's similar to joyful delight. And so maybe you think about a place, or mermaids, maybe you think about gnomes. Those are earth elementals. They don't look really like our gnomes with the hats. Now, elementals in magical realms are sometimes both, like elves. Sometimes those are forest magical realms, nature spirits as well, elementals. In general, elementals, water, air, earth, also called salamanders, are the fire elementals. These are not salamanders, the animals, although they have an affinity. These are elementals. They live on a different frequency, a different state of consciousness. Again, they have different rules to their reality. Then we have certain rules like gravity and things like that. In our reality, they have a completely different one. Sylphs work with the air, undines work with water, and gnomes work with earth. Now, I said I'm a water girl, so we're just going to use water as an example. You know that's very different to be in a shower than a tub. It's very different to be in a lake than a river, or rapids in a river versus a lazy river. It's very different to be in an ocean that's a lagoon versus an ocean with huge waves pounding on it. Very different to be in an underwater cave or a waterfall. So all of these different energies, waters, even though some are salty and some aren't, it's more than that. They hold different qualities, but they're all water. So they all have a similar context to their energy, and then they individually, within waterfalls versus ocean, they hold a particular power or medicine or quality. So nature spirits everywhere have this, and what I want you to do is see if you would like to play. Because when I was in the woods and I was waiting for deep spiritual downloads, and I received a lot of healings and other things and that. However, when I left, the one they repeated to me every day with the most clarity. So when you're receiving intuitive guidance and you might be frustrated because you want a different answer and you want a deeper answer, or you don't think you got the right answer, or you feel like I'm going on this big journey. I was leaving the United States. I didn't know when or if I was ever going to live there again. And we were, heading out on this big adventure. And I wanted to know, like, what's my spiritual path? What's my purpose? What's my mission? And this is what I was told: activate the magic wherever you go. Well, to be honest, it's very, very good advice for me, because that is my nature. Right? So note that we have the Intuition Summer Camp. It's $222 off right now. So take a look at it. There's 3 different payment plans. Talk to me about anything you have questions about. And what we're going to do is, what I was saying is, we're going to work with these different messengers, these different medicines. So if you're like, wow, I really love moon medicine, and that means that maybe when we do the celestials, you will start to vibrate higher, you'll receive more, you'll get some amazing experiences, or you'll become a moon person, someone who brings that energy in more. Maybe you'll become a star person, maybe you'll resonate with I don't know what. So each of these, like when we do the earth one, there could be crystals, right? The crystal kingdoms and different crystals within them, or in general, or crystal vortexes, or roots all across or plants that are connected across in one consciousness, like all blackberry bushes across the planet are all a consciousness, and yet the blackberry bushes in this country and versus that country are also different and individual, similar to people. There's people there in Ireland and there's people in Germany, but they're a little bit different kinds of people. So animals, insects, elementals, natures, all these unicorns, mermaids, we're going to get really deep into that in class and have a lot of fun. Symbols, sounds, archetypes, these are all really powerful guides that could be a messenger for you now. You're not going to have all of them come through now, but they're whatever is optimal, and then you're going to have a way of knowing how to connect to them and having felt them, and then I'm there with you. So after we're done, we share, we get to hear other people, we get to co-create, we get to do readings for each other, we get to have these, and then I get to help you decipher it or tell you what I see within it. So all of that. And what I really want to do is emphasize that this is a fun, sacred space. Even though it's virtual and we're not coming together for a real summer camp, it is creative. It's really safe and fun and healing and loving and empowering. And all of the people who come to these classes get very close. They feel so supported by the group. They feel so able to come and share whatever frustrations or successes. And they consciously are creating a space where you get to come in and activate your intuitive powers, your psychic abilities, awaken the senses. This is our intention. And so all the elements, all of the guides, all of the rays, all of the magic creatures that will be coming into our sacred temple for the class will be from all of these realms that we're intending to work with. So we're going to be having these kind of divine guides showing up every single class, and they might be working with you around something that has nothing to do with the rest of us. So we're going to, as a group, receive different downloads, different upgrades. You know, yesterday, suddenly Apollo, the sun god, came through, and I haven't worked with or thought about Apollo for a very long time. And then right before the call, I got down my Ascended Master cards, and I was opening them to look for a few, and Apollo showed up, and I was like, oh, I hadn't thought about you in a long time. That's cute. Put him back in the deck and moved on. And then he came through. So we don't know who may come through, and that's part of the fun, because it's camp, because we're playing, because we're in the summer, because we're free, because we're playing with all of the nature spirits and all of the magical realms, and it's that free time of year when you can get these clearer signs. So this is to help you increase the divine languages that you are able to receive. You already have codes for this. You don't have to go figure it out. You have to clear, you have to open them, you have to practice, you have to show up. The lady at the March retreat suddenly started talking to iguana, still talks to the iguana, and other things started to happen. Colors started to appear, you know, started to receive messages that she really believed and trusted were coming in. She is becoming, I'm not just animals, but she really resonated with a lot of the animal kingdoms, the manatees, the dolphins, the iguana in the retreat. Not that she didn't then get anything from the water elementals and everything, but we go into the water cave, so we're working with the water elementals, and I really love them. The water spirits, they're like nymph-like ones in the cenotes. Oh, divine, just gorgeous. So in the camp, you're going to have this ability to build and design. No, it's already built and designed, really, your network, right? And then you're going to clear, cleanse, upgrade, and do all those things I've already talked about. So the goal is to reconnect you with the reality that you have non-stop guidance, okay? This is true for you. I hope you're getting a sample of that. I hope you're still having magical times. I hope you share with me how your experiences with these calls that you're having. And because there is the medicine, is exactly what you need, is always here and already here for you. So we start on the 15th. You're also, if you join, you can buy this class separate, okay? The Spirit Guide Council class, if you would like. But if you do join the summer school, you get this class as well. And this is going to be amazing. It's going to be a 3-hour class on one day where you're going to meet your Spirit Guide Council. So you might have, you know, some water element spirits, or you might have some unicorns in your Spirit Guide Council. You might have some gods or goddesses. You might have some elementals. You might have symbols. You might have tree spirits. You might have all of them. You might have a variety. You get to put together, or you get to discover which ones are there for you, and I'm there to help you. So that happens before we go into the summer school, so that you're going to be in intuition class, so to speak. Like, this is more than a class. This is like going through something where when you get out, you've like graduated. You're like a new level expert, and you'll have your team with you, and they will be integrating with you all through the time we're together. So again, this is what I'm doing next week. Woot! Retreat. If you want to come next week, great. Let me know. If you want to come in December, I highly recommend that you decide and put your deposit down, because you have about another week or 10 days that it's $200 off. So go to retreat and Now we are going to play. Oops, where'd I go? There I am. Okay, so we're going to receive something now, or go play, do something with our beautiful elementals and our magical realms. So this is one of my new, there, you see it. It's extremely heavy. And this is called Rhodochrosite. It is pink. And it does have a lot of the love vibe energy, but it's deeper, different than rose quartz, which I love, but super thrilled. I got this beautiful selenite fairy wand. This was on the solstice when we were doing fairy things. And I got this citrine. Incredible citrine is one of my absolutely favorites. So, okay, yeah, we're going to hold this one. All right, got it. Hello. That's my dragon. All right. Thank you, 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 thank you. Wow, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. We give great thanks for the sacred space and that we have been able to gather together all of these days between the worlds. We are so blessed, so honored, so excited, so happy, open, ready, willing, receptive, that all of these guides, messages, and messengers carry such beautiful medicine to assist. And I am now ready and willing to be that clear channel for those messages and medicine that are optimal for my highest good at this time. So we are in this temple, which is very quickly becoming a forest. As we are in this forest, I'm seeing a lot of gnomes, elves, fairies, butterfly beings standing against, butterfly beings, ladybug type beings standing against the trees, flying around the trees. As we enter, we're very tiny. It's like we are these little beings walking along through the grass, and we're seeing the trees way above us, kind of like the redwoods were, so tall. And we're seeing across the land and the roots and the fauna. And there's just so much. This is a magic blend. Thank you, magic blend. Okay. And so we begin to go, and it starts to go down, and we're moving, instead of towards the center of a space in a forest, we begin to move down, down, down. It becomes very rocky. There's a lot of leaves, and pretty soon we're slipping, sliding down, almost like standing and just sliding along, and to the bottom of this ravine. Now there's a gnome here. It does have a hat. It isn't red. It's more like everything's sort of a greenish gray. Small, large nose, older, drooping eyes. And he says, we go now, we go now. And he wants you to run. And he's walking. He has a little stick as a cane, and he's walking very slow and steady. And he keeps telling us to run. So we're going to start to run. And as we run, we feel like it looks like the ravine is disappearing. It's just becoming light. It's more like a citrine, like this amber crystal around us. And we're moving extremely fast. There's a crystalline energy. However, it's extremely etheric. There's no substance now. The little gnome is continuing to follow, very intent. Seems like his cane is putting energies down and out to help guide the path. Now there's a nest. We're moving down into this little nest. And as the nest seems to be perched on the edge of a rock wall cliff, And here there's a small blue glowing, looks like it's glass, but I don't think so. Looks like a flower, but it's like a little house, circular with little petals coming out around it that are blue, clear, like light coming from within. The center is just kind of a rose color, and it's glowing almost like a light here. Standing here. Oh. So these are beautiful light beings, and I asked, what are you? Are you an elemental? And they laughed and they said, well, the elementals are yeah, I'm getting such a strong download. The elementals are not what you think they are. They are in more frequencies. They're like playing a piano. They play keys on one end to the other. They sometimes play only on one side and then they play up and down. And this is more like a light post. This is a light post for those who are coming into the elemental kingdom. We have light posts so that you can stop, that your soul can bring you, your guides can take you, and you can stop and have an adjustment moment. The lights that we are glowing with are generated from elementals and bees, bee vibrations. Some of the other frequencies include dragonfly ones, ladybug ones. There's some caterpillars, snails, all these kinds of elementals. These beings and animals are sort of creating this outpost, making it very rounded. But wow, it's just so many wings, and then there's earth, and then there's wings, and then there's earth, and there's wings. We asked to enter the sacred space to co-create with the elementals and the magical realms. Those that are optimal at this time, we invite you to come. We ask for an upgrade, an opening, a cleanse, and a clearing for our intuitive network, that we may connect to and align with these magical realms and elementals that are optimal at this time. I am here. This is where you now state to yourself why you're here. I am here to intuitively co-create. What? Now we play. Now we know. Now we take your story and we weave. As we weave, the light turns into I don't know, like a braid of light strands, and extends out. Move out along these light strands. The elementals are like they're in the dark around us. They're hiding against the walls or something, you know, like back. So we walk out along this braided path of light. Keeps braiding and weaving in front of us, and we step forward and we step forward. Now in front of you on your path of light appears an elemental. The elemental seems to be from the earth realm. Yours may be different, so trust yourself. Standing here asking, but can you What can I do? What can I do? How can I help? How can I help? My specialty is to free earth or your body or your manifestations or the things in your life from toxic waste, negativity, and all of the things that can burden and weigh you down. Now, this incredible gnome, this earth elemental, is beginning to create something like a little workshop, watching somebody build something and fast forward. And now there it is. It's complete. It's there for you. What is your gift? Whether you understand what it is or not, just receive it. See if you can sense or see or feel or hear what they say. So, are you ready to receive very special new information that you can download now through this, whatever it is you've been gifted, from the earth elemental? As long as you tune in, you feel it, you sense it, you will have a clearer and clearer connection. Allow new ideas to flow through you. What in your world, your body, your life, your things, what is allowed now to release toxins? Negativity. Now there's elementals coming. They are charcoal elementals, and they say this is so important that, like charcoal absorbing toxins in your body, these elementals want to come with you to absorb toxins in your life. When you go to receive intuitive guidance, first call these elementals, the charcoal elementals, the gnomes of this realm. They create much more than pulling toxins out. They base it, they ground it, and they allow the dark energies that come from something that has transformed, transmuted. So to us, we think of charcoal to burn it, or we think of charcoal to absorb toxins. However, that element has been through very specific transformative experiences, very ones of high pressure and heat, and emotionally and energetically translate that. This elemental is here to help you when you create, to relieve you from the pressure, and to turn it into part of who you are becoming. Now, the charcoal elemental just becomes a small little piece, it sort of rides around with you. There's a red elemental here now, and you begin to walk, and you walk deeper in. You say, I am ready to create. Focus on what it is you are here wanting to create. Now we have the mermaids. The undines are coming, the water elementals. They're flowing like mermaids with all different shapes and sizes, sparkling. They move as if they're swimming, but not in water. The water element is within them, not around them. They move like water. There's a flow to their elegance, to their fluidity. They can blend with something, absorb something. They can exude it. They can purify. Feel and sense as they're bringing this fluid, purifying, elemental energy. We balance, we purify, we nurture, we provide a space for life. And we must constantly be cleansing the earth, radiation, toxic waste. We do the same for you. Receive this and release, known and unknown, in this and any life, the toxins within your mind, your emotions, in the body, within the relationships, within the self-image, within the finances. Release the waste that no longer needs to be held, all that can be forgotten, decomposed. Now, your particular sylph, your little mermaid or merman or water being begins to play. There's like a calling you forward. Come, come, come. They want to grab you. They want to like pick you up and take you somewhere fast. They move very fast. And they just don't, it's like not being able to touch an animal that you know you don't know yet. It's like they want to touch you. Can we touch you? Can we pick you up? Will you release? Will you relax? Will you let go? Will you let go of your fear? Let go of your fear. Release your fear now. Let go of your fear. Release your fear now. Let go of your fear. Release your fear now. Let us come now. What could we do together if we flowed? If we released and purified, if we nourished you? What's possible for you to tune into, to create, to hold space for, to believe in? Allow them to completely envelop you in this joyful space. It's just yours alone. There's symbols moving through, small images. The water is structured, imprinted, encoded. Waves of different mermaid energy. Waves of different powers that embody, amplify, and are absorbed through these water elementals. There's so much movement and so much stillness. The stillness within. This is where you go. Now take a deep breath. The sylphs from the air coming in, the undines of the water purifying all around you, the elements of the gnomes and the earth have given you the magic of their wisdom. Now you let go. You feel yourself getting lighter. There is an enormous nature spirit here, like an enormous fairy with multiple wings, tiny wings upon wings, and then wings behind those, all different colors, soft pink, see-through layers of gowns that have sparkles along the edges, a very fairy godmotherish kind of thing, a huge wand. All of these things, all of this beauty, she's transmuting you, allowing you with the power of the earth, the air, and the water. Purify, decompose, discover. The breath of air now feeds you, and you feel yourself. Earth form slowly evaporating, melting. You're going from earth to liquid, to water. Now you continue to raise your frequency as this beautiful being brings more and more joyful delight into you. You begin to transform like water boiling. You turn into air. The sylphs begin to play with you. You are bubbles, you are mist, you are breath, you are air. Lighter and lighter, becoming pure ether. Your essence now begins to feel the soul. The salamanders are here, the fire element, the spirit element. This is where creation is birthed, is completed, and spirit is infused into form. The fire elementals are here with your spirit and soul's mission, the message and the medicine for you right now. Relax and receive the fire medicine, your spirit empowering, transformative. The salamander elementals of fire are both fire. They flicker, their heat, their ethers. They're fire, they're cold. They seem to take form, and the form glows, and it concentrates the spirit energy. And they're asking you now to look in the embers, to look in what you have burned, what you have left behind. Where are the bridges you've burned? Where are the things that you have believed and then decided to disconnect from? Look now in the ashes. The salamanders and fire elementals are burning and smoldering, and these are all these parts. There is a gem within the ashes of all you have completed, all that has been burned and returned. Now you're beginning to see and feel that in the ashes, as they're still smoldering with flames and fire, that they're being infused with your spirit, the spirit of your soul's plan, the power, the fire of your soul, your heart, and the purpose you have in this life. You feel comfortable in these smoldering energies. The heat feels warming, welcoming, and soft. Feels like it's softening the parts of you that have gone cold, rigid, or built walls, to not believe in your ability to intuitively create, to have what you want, to believe in yourself, to express, to create, to flow, to live in a reality of true magic, spirit, and soul purpose, to be loved and supported and guided by everything from spirit to earth, from mind to heart, from water to emotion. You feel the warmth and you become that burning ember, the essence of who you were, still burning, still some shape, some form, some earth to it. But the inner heart is on fire, is glowing and growing and burning away that which has kept your heart hidden. Now a breath comes, that sacred breath. The guardians of all the mind, the world, the creation, the structure, the breath that breathes life into who you are to become and what you are creating. Aerating, lightening, raising up the mind from mundane to magical. You can sense that this warmth from the fire elementals is changing you at an atomic level, that you have now reconnected to the spiritual fires of creation. Now all the elementals fade away. You find yourself here, floating around you. There's pale blue and violet sheets of light that seem to be coming like shafts of sunlight through the window. There are no windows. The shafts of light around you. You're floating in this space. You feel so different. You give thanks to the elementals for removing the waste and the toxins, for burning away the past, for purifying, for reconnecting, and here now, floating, ready. The magical realms continue to send sheets of light, lavender and blue. They intersect, they line up. Start to see and sense multiple realities around you. Doors within doors, layers behind layers, higher and higher, wider and wider. Everything seems to expand, to echo, to duplicate. All of this is how you enter the magical realm. Now, simply allow yourself to move through any of these sheets of light. Ask your magical guide, and they will draw you through, like passing through a door of light. As you emerge on the other side, you can sense your connection to the elementals now, the difference in your makeup, and how you're going to be able to move forward with such power, such presence. So much has shifted without really much work. Now, your magical guide is here. A very tiny little unicorn, very tiny, with a gold horn, white, prancing around, excited like a little baby horse. This is there for all of us. This is Joyful Delight. Her name is Joyful Delight. Joyful Delight. She's prancing and jumping and prancing and jumping, and cute as it can be. And as she prances and jumps, and it's like stardust or something coming off, and it's coming out, it's filling the space, and you now open to receive a message from or a connection to a magical realm or guide that's optimal for you at this time. Whatever you see, sense, or feel, just receive it, smile, feel gracious. Now, you may be going somewhere, seeing something, receiving something, sensing something changing, or you may just be peaceful, floating. Whatever's happening, amplify it, accept it, allow it to sink deep as possible. Receive this magic, connection, communication, message, and medicine. Now, as you complete your journey with the elementals, this magical guide will bring you back into this moment. Will gently, with whatever their special powers and magic are, in to pour you back into your body here in this moment. Down through the crown, the head, the neck, down the arms, the back, the chest, and the belly. Pouring into the sacral and the hips and anchoring here now. Feeling this magic come in, sense that this trip is more real than you realize. How you can see it, sense it, feel it, how you have full conscious memory of everything that happened. I give great thanks for these elementals, these guides, for this experience, for this cleansing for me and for the planet. I give thanks to the elemental realms and for all they do. I give thanks to the magic within me, to this place, and to my purpose. Now feel yourself completely download through the legs, the feet, into the earth, into your body, into the room. Relax and be here now. Thank you, thank you, thank you. From this moment forward, I will walk as one with the elementals. I will accept that I have been freed of my toxic waste in my mind, body, and emotions. I accept that all that I have been gifted with, reminded of, and activated empowers me on this path, and I accept with graciousness and ease. Feel all the way down your feet. Breathe into the body. Now acknowledge any of your special guides. anything you felt. Notice it, remember it, give thanks. We give thanks to this divine space and to these realms for coming back to communicate with us after so many dark times and so many difficult times. We ask that you come and guide us, that you reconnect to us, that you help us to understand your language, your powers. Help us to understand how to live here together with all of the realms, the elementals, the magical realms, and beyond. We are here with peace and love in our hearts. We are one mind, one heart. We are one love. And so it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. May the circle be open, yet unbroken. The magic of this moment go with us. Thank you. All right. Well, a little more than I expected, but it was lovely. Thank you, thank you, thank you, all the magical friends. And Nan, you're so welcome, Destine. Namaste, Theo. Ah, yes. Destine, you want to know more about the course? If you go to the shop.nanakasha.com, you'll see it right there. It's on sale. And of course, you can then go and you can contact me if you want to chat about it. And I'm happy to answer any questions. And it's every time I do an Intuition Awakening summer camp, it's like a quantum leap. We all go in together. We're in a sacred space and continuously creating it, similar to what we've done this week, but because this is for, everyone, we have this unity. We come together kind of like on the solstice when we were in a circle together with the fairies. And what's going to be fun about this is that I do this all the time anyway. If I'm teaching some other topic, I might not be talking about all these guides and messages and medicine, or only the ones that are relevant that come in during the class, right? So we are going to raise such an amazing, loving, healing, and reconnection on the planet because we are acknowledging these entities, these beings. We're consciously wanting to communicate. We're letting everything know that we are indeed a one and that we are ready to be in this co-creative flow. So I hope that you take everything that happened today, you see how it unfolds, watch for the messages, play with this elementals. Wow, okay, good to see you. Anything else? And you're so welcome. Inspiration. Oh, I'm so excited, Destine. You're just glowing. Sherry said, I was feeling that deeply, even though I was talking to the kids and working on things the whole time. Oh, well, listen again tonight. Me too. I'm not able to just be in the receptive mode. I'm in channeling mode, I guess you would call it. And then I do also have to have that part of me that has to remember to turn on the recordings and all that stuff. Whew, when you do this work and being in both worlds, but it's great practice. So, oh, thank you so much, everyone. Have a beautiful, magical day. And I'll see you tomorrow. And I'm thinking of possibly adding one more, where we just channel all these amazing beings together in a beautiful, magical space, a party or something. So let me know what questions you have, whether it's about the class, whether it's about anything else that's happening for you, if there's anything else I can do. And have a beautiful day. Please spread the magic. Please spread the magic. Please spread your joyful delight. Oh, wasn't it the cutest thing ever? I saw this little tiny unicorn. It had rainbow things here, and it was jumping and jumping and playing, but it's tiny, tiny, tiny. But as it was jumping down here, I was like, "Is that for me? Is that for everybody?" They're like, "No, that's for everybody." And it was creating like fairy dust or something, like this energy. It was like doo-doo-doo, poof, doo-doo-doo, poof, doo-doo-doo, poof. And then it said, "I'm joyful delight." And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's what we said earlier, right? That was in our declaration that we wanted to, I'm going to try to remember to send you the declaration too, so you'll have it. But remember, we said that we were tuning back to joyful delight. So, I don't know where it was, but Well, thank you, everybody. I love playing with you. I hope you're going to come play in the summer camp. And as soon as you sign up, you're going to get bonuses. We're going to, if anything comes through, I'm going to share it with you. If you haven't already done the 360, Awaken Your 360 Senses, you get that. I'm not sure if that's on there. And then, of course, July 9th, we're going to create our Spirit Council together, which is really going to be cool. And if you want to buy the Spirit Council class, and then late after that, you decide you want to join the school, then we will credit you what you paid for the class because it's part of your goodies and your gifts. So what's fun about doing intuitive work is that we have a structure and then we show up inside of it. And if you show up, what's magical and optimal for you will blend with what's magical and optimal for me and everyone else. And we'll all end up with this incredible new creation. So have a beautiful day. I will see you tomorrow. And yeah, the wind was really strong, still is a little bit, and it was saying that it's winds of change, yes. Sometimes it comes to cleanse, to blow away, to clear your mind. But what it was really saying today is that it's bringing a sacred breath to infuse you, to bring you the energy you need to go, okay, I'm here, I'm me, I can do this, I can be my unique individual spiritual self, and to be in the mental field, but that idea of aerating it, like these bubbles, you know, when something's fizzy or aerated, or you aerate the ground and everything can breathe more. So breathe and enjoy. Namaste. Oh, Rubella, hi, honey. OMG, this was so cleansing. The unicorn threw a circle of different color circles of lights around my head. Ooh, I love that. I love that. Anything else? Anybody else have anything? This is what I love about our classes. Hey, Brittany. Oh, thank you for sharing your gifts. You're so welcome, honey. I love playing with you. I hope you're going to be in the summer school. I can't imagine doing it without you. Yeah, that's what's so fun is then we get to share. You can find out in class. Look, Ruthella, the unicorn was doing this thing. And then someone else in class will probably say, yes, I saw that too. Or to me, it was doing that and someone else. And then what we get to see is we're like a compound eye because each of us are attuned to receive certain energies and information, medicine, messages. And so we receive our part, and that's okay. That's optimal at where we are. But when we're in the class and we're co-creating in sacred space and we're all awakening or being reattuned and realigned and all this wonderful stuff is happening, then all of a sudden what you see adds to what I feel, adds to what someone else feels, and it's like decoding. It's like each of the numbers in a combination lock. All right, my dears. Thank you.